Welcome to the course Animal Diversity 1 Biology of Non-Chordates. Myself, Dr. Sneha, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, St. Joseph's College for Women, Vishakhapatnam. So, in the unit number 4, we are continuing with next topic, that is what 4.2, where we are going to talk about vermiculture technique. The contents include we're going to talk about vermicompost, its scope and significance, and the various steps which are involved, the process of the vermicompost technique. And even we're going to talk about the economic importance of vermicompost also. After studying this vermiculture topic, you can able to explain the concepts of vermiculture and vermicompost with suitable examples. You can able to describe the process of vermicomposting, including what are the materials are required, what are the conditions are required, and steps actually involved for preparing the vermicompost. You can able to identify the suitable earthworm species, and you can able to even explain their role in decomposition and as well as nutrient recycling. You can even able to evaluate the importance of vermicompost in waste management, soil fertility, and suitable agriculture. So let's talk about this vermiculture technique. So vermiculture refers to the scientific rearing and breeding of earthworms under controlled environmental conditions. By doing this, here in this technique, we are using the systematic use of the earthworms to convert the organic waste into valuable nutrient-rich fertilizer. That is what known as vermicompost. So the process of producing the vermicompost by using the earthworms is called vermiculture, which is basically a technique. And by using this technique, the ultimately we're going to produce the product that is what known as vermicompost. So let's see the scope of this technique. It is a very efficient method where we can convert that biodegradable waste into a very useful compost actually. So what type of waste we can use in this technique is like the waste which is generated from our kitchen, agricultural residues, and even we can use that animal dung also, and we are converting that into a very useful compost. Okay, and it even helpful in sustainable agricultural practices also, which actually promotes organic farming practices and which can basically replaces the chemical fertilizers and pesticides what we are using excessively nowadays, and even it can enhances the soil fertility and rejuvenates the soil naturally. Um so the next is its commercial and industrial scope, where the farmers can basically set up a small scale or it might be large scale business, because by using this vermiculture technique we can produce vermicompost. Vermi wash is also one more byproduct which is basically generated with the help of this technique, and even the earthworms what we are using to go through this, convert that waste into a vermicompost. So all these are actually involves at the commercial level, where the money can be generated at very small scale also, and as well as at large scale business also. And even by doing this, we are conserving the environment, because it is a natural process where we are simply using the earthworms, right? So because of this, it improves soil health and biodiversity, and it even enhances the soil aeration and structure, and it even recycles the nutrients back to the ecosystem. So all these comes under category of the environmental friendly concept actually. Okay, and even the vermicompost is actually suitable for household gardens also we can use, and the farms, and even the gardens which are maintained at schools and colleges also. Okay, so they can basically they can convert whatever waste is generated by them actually. It might be at your house, it might be at schools or colleges, simply because it requires a very limited space. Okay, so because of this reason, it can be done at the level of schools and colleges also. So coming to the significance of this vermiculture, so as we already talked about, it improves the soil fertility because it increases the nutrients which are very essential for the growth of the plants. That is what known as NPK, right? And even when we're going to use this vermicompost, it actually improves the soil texture, porosity, and water retention capacity also. And it is a very eco-friendly technology, and it is naturally generated. Okay, so obviously it reduces the harmful effects of the synthetic fertilizers, and it even promotes the plant growth because vermicompost naturally contains that growth hormones, and as well as it is beneficial for the microbes also which are present in the soil, and as well as it enhances the seed germination capacity, root development, and it even increases the crop yield naturally. And one more benefit of this is as it converts the organic waste into much more valuable resources. So this basically supports that concept of waste to wealth concept. It is a cost-effective method which actually requires low investment and a very simple technology. It reduces expenditure on fertilizers. It even minimizes the soil, air, and water pollution, which actually further reduces the greenhouse gas emissions because we are converting that biodegradable waste. Okay, so the waste which is generated from our households is actually converting into a compost. Okay, by doing this, we are protecting our own environment, which actually further we can decrease that air and as well as the soil pollution by following this simple technique. It supports sustainable development goals, which actually required for ecological balance. It even contributes to sustainable agriculture and green economy. And it also have that health benefits, which actually produces the chemical-free food products. Because if you're going to use the vermicompost and increase the using of vermicompost, and if you're going to decrease the usage of chemical fertilizers, so definitely the food whatever it is produced, so it is of course it is of chemical free type of food products, can be generated produced by the farmers, and overall the food quality and safety is also going to automatically increases. So this is what the significance of or importance of why we're supposed to use the vermicompost. So now coming to what type of earthworm species are supposed to used for this technique. So we can easily generate a huge amount of the vermicompost. So there are some specific species are actually they are used by farmers. Those are following this technique, and the type of earthworm species which are especially needed for this technique is they are epigic form of earthworms. That means the earthworms which are basically surface dwelling type are preferred for this vermiculture, and these worms are very efficient in decomposing the organic waste rapidly at high speed rate. Okay, and the main characteristics, the earthworm species which are ideal for what we can use for this technique is they're supposed to have high feeding and digestion rate, and rapid reproduction and ability to tolerate crowded conditions, and they have to adapt easily to different types of the organic waste environments. So these are the main key characters. So mainly all over the world, there are two main earthworm species are actually preferred for this technique. So that is what Essena fetida, which is commonly known as red wigglers, and on the other hand, one more species is Eudrilus eugenia. So that is what commonly known as African night crawler. So this slide shows the comparative chart between the red wigglers and as well as African night crawlers. Okay, as you could clearly see that red wigglers are most widely used species commonly. They're going to exhibit moderate growth, and the size is basically small to medium sized, and they are having a very high reproductive rate, and they are excellent decomposers of organic waste, and they can even tolerate a wide range of conditions. They can very easily adaptable to various climatic conditions also, and they are very easy easy to maintain. Okay, if anyone is newly starting this vermiculture technique, so it is very ideal species because they can be handled very easily. So this is supposed to be ideal species for beginners and as well as small scale industry. That type of that means they can easily prefer this red wigglers. On the other hand, this African night crawler, which is very most commonly used in only tropical regions, but they are very fast, one of the fastest growing earthworm species, and they are a little bit larger in size comparing to red wiggler category, and their reproduction is very very high, but comparing to that Esina fetida species, this is little bit slightly lower. And but African night crawlers are known for producing one of the highest quality of vermicompost very efficiently. And coming to their environmental tolerance, where they are very sensitive to low temperatures, and so that is why they are best suited for only tropical type of climates. Okay, and so that is why their maintenance is little bit harder comparing to Esina fetida. Okay, so because African night crawlers, they require a little bit much more controlled conditions, all right. And African night crawlers are suitable for large scale, where like per daily they are producing some 100 kgs, 200 kgs, that type of large scale industries. African night crawlers are very suitable. So this is what the step-by-step process of this for preparation of the vermicomposting, where like we can have this many 9 steps actually. So we will discuss about all these steps starting from site selection till the compost formation. So okay, so one after one we're going to discuss detailedly. So starting with selection of the site. So the site selection is very important because the site, whatever it is going to be selected, it's supposed to have little bit cool, shaded, and well ventilated area. And but direct sunlight and heavy rain are not supposed to expose to that particular area. And that particular site should have good drainage also, because water logging, that means that is not suitable for vermiculture technique. Okay, so once that proper site is selected, then we can start with the preparation of that vermicompost bed. So in that particular site, the bed can be prepared in a cement tank. Cement tanks can be built as a permanent thing, right? Or else if they want some temporary solution, so they can easily use some wooden boxes, plastic containers, or even the earth can be dig out, and pits can be made out in the earth itself. So according to site size, that tanks or wooden boxes size can be basically decided. But the standard size, at least they're supposed to have that the width of that particular tank or box, it's supposed to range between 1 to 1.5 meter width, and as well as the length of that particular pit or tank supposed to have hardly 0.3 to 0.5 meters height. Okay, after choosing this bed, like it might be cement tank or sorry, cement tanks or wooden boxes or plastic containers or whatever, then the bottom layer, okay, now the bottom layer supposed to be filled with coarse material. So that is what small stones and pebbles or sand. So the water, because this after putting that soil and layers, we're supposed to keep it moist. Okay, so any excessive water, if it comes basically, so it can easily drain out through that small spaces what are present in that bottom layer, because it is made by sand, or it might be we are basically adding that small stones like thing. So that is mainly for the purpose of the drainage. Next, addition of bedding material. Once that bottom layer is done, then add a layer of dry leaves or straw or coconut coir. We're supposed to break down into bits and pieces, right? So like we have to, that is what will be next layer. Okay, so we have to after that we're supposed to add it that partially decomposed organic matter. So that is nothing but the cow dung actually. Okay, so the cow dung can be mixed with the biodegradable waste, that is what kitchen waste or whatever agricultural residues are left out. So the cow dung is supposed to be mixed with that. It's supposed to be leave it, so it can basically partially decomposed actually. Okay, so that is supposed to be added as the next layer. Okay, so once all these layers are added, the bedding material is basically, then the earthworm supposed to be introduced on about to that cow dung plus the waste, right? So whatever earthworm species, so it was chosen by the farmer according to their requirement, so they're supposed to be introduced evenly over the bed. Okay, and after introducing the earthworms, that particular entire tank or wooden box supposed to be covered properly, but with a very thin layer of like gunny bags, that type of very thin type of because like see, the air also supposed to be come, that means because it's supposed to, that is the layer is supposed to meant for keep that that moist or keep that entire waste a little bit moist, because the earthworms are able to, they need actually, that is little bit of that moisture is actually required for the survival of the earthworms. Okay, and later on we supposed to keep on adding that waste layer by layer and layer by layer. Okay, which is already pre-decomposed, and it's supposed to be avoided to add onion peels and adding little bit spicy and non-biodegradable type of materials are not supposed to be added, because they're very harmful for the earthworms. So earthworms might die. So these are the type of the materials what supposed to be they can't add all these things. Okay, so after adding for like 10 to 15 days, so we have to maintain that moisture of the bed which is already prepared like 60 to 70%. So we have to make sure that sprinkle water regularly, so keep that bed little bit moist, and the temperature is also maintained between 15 to 30 degrees centigrade. And as well as do not compact the bed, like you're not supposed to press the bed, because if you're going to press, keep on pressing, what actually happens is there will be no proper aeration, porosity is going to decrease, so definitely the earthworms might feel suffocate and they're going to die inside the bed. Okay, and so lightly turn if it is required. Okay, if it is required occasionally, actually very not frequently but occasionally, it's supposed to be like to do that to for aeration basically purpose, right? And clearly monitor on the daily basis what is the moisture level, what is the worm activity, and the progress of the decomposition process. Okay, so once after monitoring, within 40 to 60 days, normally the waste actually converts into, like you can clearly able to see now that dark granular soil like material is going to be visible. So that is indicating that your vermicompost is actually ready. So now coming to last step, so that is what the harvesting. So before harvesting, you're supposed to stop watering for 2 to 3 days, and there are two different methods are there for collecting the vermicompost. So that is what first one is known as heap method. As a part of this method, what they're going to do is they're going to make a pile of that entire compost. So where the worms are going to move towards the downside of the bed, and the upper layers are going to be basically collected. So that is what known as heap method. On the other hand, one more method is like sieving. So they're going to take out that entire bedding material properly, and they're going to use that very big sieve, so where they can basically, by using that sieving, so the vermicompost can be generated, that means separated from the earthworms. So earthworms can be used for the next batch of preparing of the vermiculture. And even while like preparing this vermicompost, like see, even we can collect that one type of liquid is also going to be produced from the compost bed, that is what known as vermi wash, which is also used as a liquid fertilizer. So that is also going to be produced as a form of byproduct by using this vermiculture technique. So now coming to the economic importance, as we already discussed that this is a very low cost fertilizer, which is one of the cheap alternative to very high rate of chemical fertilizers. So it can reduces the overall expenses of the farming expenses actually. And on the other hand, it can even enhances the plant growth and productivity, and it leads to the higher agricultural income, to generate the higher agricultural income. And by this technique, by production of the vermicompost, the income also can be generated. It might be at small scale, or it might be at large scale, because by sale of vermicompost, by sale of earthworms, by sale of vermiwash, that is what the liquid, it creates definitely additional source of income. And it even generates employment opportunities also. Like once this vermicompost is prepared for like for production, also for preparation of the bedding and everything, and even once this compost is prepared, packaging, that is what harvesting that process, harvesting that vermicompost, packaging and marketing, so all this type of steps actually generates the new employment opportunities for rural area people especially. So by using this technique, we are converting that waste into a very highly valuable compost. So definitely it earns profit from the waste material, and it reduces the repeated use of the chemical fertilizers. If you're going to use this vermicompost, which is naturally made, so it can automatically increases the soil fertility, and as well as it can save the cost of the chemical fertilizers. And it even supports the concept of organic farming, where the food, whatever it is basically produced, is of chemical free type of food is going to be produced, and it is a something like eco-friendly business. It actually promotes this type of technology. So the overall summary of this vermiculture process, vermiculture technique, vermiculture is the scientific rearing of earthworm to convert the organic waste into useful products. Because of this technique, we are able to generate the vermicompost, which is a nutrient-rich organic fertilizer produced by the digestion of the earthworms waste. Basically they're going to eat this waste, and they're going to digest it, and they're going to convert that into a that is what nutrient rich fertilizer, right? And the process even helps in efficient waste management, okay, and it even promotes that sustainable agriculture and as well as eco-friendly farming concept, definitely, right? So the references which are cited for this vermiculture topic is this. Thank you for listening the class.